Hi everyone, this is Ricky with Romero Cards. I hope you're having a great week and thank you for stopping by and watching this video. In this video, we're going to be using the Mix and Match Mariposa Die from Altenew. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is cut out all of these butterflies out with black cardstock. So we're going to get those on the cardstock and then we're going to use some low-tack tape to go ahead and get those to stick onto the cardstock. Now I'm not going to show you this whole time that I'm putting tape onto here, so just a short little bit and then we'll go ahead and get to die cutting. So once we get that on, we're going to flip this over so that it doesn't pull off of the paper, and we're going to go ahead and stick this through the die cutting machine. Once we get it through the die cutting machine, we're just going to take out all the butterflies and poke out all the little pieces that need to come out. That usually takes a while, so that's why I didn't show the whole process. Here I'm using my little Nuvo brush to go ahead and get those pieces from the side, and then we're actually going to do the same thing for the red cardstock here. And we're going to go ahead and get all those butterflies out, go ahead and take them off the cardstock here, and we're going to use the pokey tool as well to get out all the pieces that are stuck in the die or stuck in the cutout. Takes a little time, but through the magic of video editing, here we go. Now what we're going to do is just match up all the pieces to where they need to go, and I use all of the butterflies but one on this card. And I don't use the one, I think it's the black one, no, the red one with the black wings, the red solid. I don't use that. Then we're going to cut this black piece of cardstock to 4 inches by 5¼ inches. Woo, math is hard. We're going to go ahead and get this sentiment stamped out. We're going to use this Altenew stamp set that has a sentiment in it that I thought would be nice for this card. And that sentiment set, or that stamp set, is called In My Thoughts. So we're going to go ahead and get this inked up with some Versamark ink after using my powder tool. We want to make sure that no powder sticks to the cardstock once we get this stamped down onto the cardstock. And we're actually going to be using this for the card, so I want to make sure it's in the perfect spot and that it's actually even. And now we're just going to use some Altenew pure white embossing powder and go ahead and get that coated onto the paper. And we want to make sure there's no powder remaining outside of that, so I'm just going to use a small brush and go ahead and get those little extra pieces off. And then here is just a short video of me heat embossing, finishing that up. No one wants to watch a whole minute of heat embossing, do they? Not me. So now what we're doing is we're just going to go ahead and get everything here together on the card. We're going to go ahead and put this black cardstock and we're going to glue it onto a 110-pound Nina Solar White Classic Card Crest cardstock. Now it's cut at 4¼ by 11, and then it is folded in half to make it 4¼ by 5½. I'm going to make sure that this is good and pressed down onto the paper so that it does not come up. Next thing we're going to do is go ahead and get all the pieces glued together, and basically I'm just putting a strip of glue along the body of the butterfly to make it stick to its base. And I'll fold the wings up a little bit here so it gives it a little bit of dimension. And I'll do that for a few here, and then we'll go ahead and skip over to one of the last ones that we have remaining. Now here you'll see that I'm pulling out some black gemstones. I want to add a little bit of bling to the card without it being too much. It was a little a hassle to do this because I have big man hands and it's hard to handle some of these stones. So what I did was I just used a jewel picker here and used some glue. Now you may see a little glue coming out of the sides. It's fine. It's still going to work. It'll dry clear, so no one will really be able to tell that there was actually glue there. And we're going to go ahead and get those stones on all of the red butterflies. I didn't put them on the black butterflies only because it didn't really pop out from the black cardstock, so that's why they're not there. Now what I'm doing now is just positioning all the butterflies onto the card exactly where I want them to be. And now that I have them where I want them to be, we're going to go ahead and pop up all of these with some 3M foam tape. Now I'm not going to show you the whole process of adding the 3M foam tape to the butterflies here. I'm just going to show you the first couple, maybe the last one. Basically, you're just putting on 3M foam tape to where the butterfly is located and sticking them down. Another tip here too is if you can't keep your card in place while you're putting everything down, take a picture of this with your phone so that you'll have something to reference if you need to go back and take a look about how you positioned a card. Another thing you could do is use some press and seal and press that down onto everything that's on top of the card and then lift it. I find that technique a little harder for me. I'd rather just be able to do it the way I'm doing it or take a photo. So here is the last one that I'm adding onto the card. And then once we get this onto the card, we start getting to the scary part. And this is where I'm going to put white speckles all over the front of this card. I'm using some white acrylic paint here, and I'm just going to water it down with some water. And I'm just going to mix this up really good. Now, I have to say that these speckles were a lot bigger than I anticipated on the card, and I was not too happy about it, but hey, what can you do? I did what I could. It's still pretty. There's just bigger white spots on it than I would normally like to have. To clean this up, all you have to do is spray some water down and wipe it off. It's nothing too hard. You can do it while you're working. So this is the end of the video. I want to thank you for watching us over at ScrapbookPal.com's YouTube channel. Make sure you follow them on all the social medias. And also find me on social media by looking for Romero cards. All of the supplies here will be listed below. And I hope you have a great week. Thank you for watching and look forward to more cards that are going to be presented here at ScrapbookPal.com. Thank you. Have a great week.